Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, what if I told you that there's a potential game changer on the horizon for the Atlanta Falcons? Something that could significantly boost their offensive firepower, especially at the wide receiver position, and help them take that next step towards playoff success and maybe even beyond. That's right. We're talking about the possibility, yes, it's still speculation, but a very plausible one, that the Falcons could be in the mix for a familiar name, Christian Kirk. Now I know what you're thinking, wait, wasn't Kirk just traded to the Houston Texans? Well, that's true, but as always, in the world of NFL rumors and moves, nothing is set in stone until it's official. And this is where things get interesting. See, reports suggest that the Texans acquired Kirk before the NFL draft, which in itself was a smart move for them. They managed to get a solid wide receiver for just a 7th-round pick, which is practically a steal in NFL terms. That kind of low-cost investment gives the Texans flexibility, but at the same time, it signals that Kirk might not be part of their long-term plans anymore. And here's the thing, after drafting Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, the Texans' wide receiver room is actually looking quite decent. They already have Nico Collins, John Mechie, Tank Dell, and now Higgins and Noel, so Kirk's role feels a bit redundant. That's why, even though he's now with Houston, a lot of NFL insiders and fans are speculating that he might be available for a trade. And of course, the Falcons are right there in the mix as a prime candidate to bring Kirk into the fold. Now, let's pause for a moment and really analyze why this makes so much sense for Atlanta. Because when you look at their current roster, especially the wide receiver core, it's clear that they need some veteran presence and reliable production. Drake London is solid, and Darnell Mooney has shown flashes, but after those two, things get a little uncertain. Ray McCloud, for example, has been a bit underwhelming. He's only gone over 300 yards once in his NFL career, and that was last year. This is where Christian Kirk comes in. If you've been following his career, you know he's primarily a slot receiver. He's been a slot specialist most of his NFL life. And that's a perfect fit for the Falcons, especially considering their recent draft strategy. Remember, they took Michael Penix Jr., 8th overall last year, a quarterback with immense potential who needs weapons to truly flourish. Kirk, with his route running skills and precise hands, could be that reliable target for Penix, especially in the slot. In 2024, Kirk ran 81.7% of his routes from the slot, and in 2023, that number was still high, around 71.3%, according to PFF. So he's not just a good receiver, he's a specialized one who could slot right into Atlanta's offense, giving Penix that much-needed security blanket underneath and in the middle of the field. And let's not forget about Kirk's production. The last time he was healthy in 2022, he amassed over 100 receiving yards, which is impressive. Even in 2023, when he played 12 games, he finished with 787 yards, solid numbers that show he's still got plenty of gas left in the tank. Now, with Penix at quarterback, the Falcons could unlock even more of Kirk's potential. Penix's arm strength and ability to stretch the field could complement Kirk's precise route running perfectly. This pairing could be a nightmare for defenses, especially in third-down situations where Kirk's savvy and quickness in the slot shine the brightest. From a strategic perspective, trading for Kirk makes a lot of sense for Atlanta. Their draft position in the later rounds was limited because they traded up for James Pierce Jr., a move that showed they're committed to building a winning roster but also left them a bit thin on draft capital. Acquiring a veteran like Kirk could be a cost-effective way to upgrade their offense without sacrificing draft picks that could be more valuable in the future. As I mentioned earlier, reports hint that the Falcons might be willing to trade their 7th-round pick next year to bring Kirk into the fold. That's a small price to pay for a player of Kirk's caliber, especially considering his proven production and fit in the Falcons' offensive scheme. And think about the bigger picture. Adding Kirk alongside London and Mooney would give Atlanta a trio of receivers with different strengths. London's size and physicality, Mooney's speed and route running, and Kirk's precise, reliable hands in the slot. That kind of depth and versatility is exactly what a quarterback like Penix needs to really thrive and elevate the offense. It's no secret that the Falcons are eyeing a playoff run in 2025, especially with the way their defense has been shaping up and the young core they've assembled on offense. Adding Kirk could be that final piece that turns their aspirations into reality. Now I know some fans might be wondering, will Kirk actually reach 0 yards with the Falcons? Well, it's a stretch, but if he can replicate his last healthy season with Jacksonville, where he posted over 0 yards, that would be a huge boost for Atlanta. Even if he ends up with something closer to 700 or 800 yards, the value he'd bring in third down conversions, red zone efficiency, and overall yards after catch would be immense. And remember, with Penix's arm and the Falcons' offensive line improving, there's every reason to believe that Kirk could be a key contributor, especially as a dependable target in critical moments. The NFL trade market is always unpredictable, but right now, the scenario is quite clear. The Falcons have the draft capital, the need, and the strategic fit to make a move for Kirk. It would require a smart, targeted trade, perhaps that 7th-round pick next year, but the potential reward is enormous. Imagine Kirk lining up in the slot, creating mismatches, and helping Penix unlock the full potential of Atlanta's offense. It's a tantalizing prospect that could give the Falcons that extra edge to finally break through and make some serious noise in the NFC. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, all signs point to Atlanta being a team on the rise. Their defense is solidifying, their young talent is developing, and now, with a strategic addition like Christian Kirk, their offense could become much more dynamic and dangerous. Whether it's the chemistry with Penix, the ability to stretch defenses, or simply providing that reliable outlet in crucial moments, Kirk has all the tools to thrive in Atlanta. So keep an eye on this situation because, if it materializes, it could be one of the most impactful moves of the offseason, and it might just be the spark that propels the Falcons into serious playoff contention. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Christian Kirk would be the perfect addition to this team? Would it help them finally reach that next level? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and everything you need to stay ahead in the world of the Atlanta Falcons. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, stay passionate, stay dedicated, and let's keep supporting our Falcons through thick and thin.